What the heck? I guess you know what time of the year it is, folks, because this one goes off every year at this time. So,
Hold on. Hold on.
uh,
Let me get situated. Let me
it's
get.
funny,
Oh,
funny,
that
funny.
was my Halloween costume from last year. You should see the whole outfit.
Uh, I can only imagine. What's the outfit for this year?
I'll have to reveal it on Halloween. I can't.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not
All right.
revealing it now.
Well, so now, folks, you're going to have to tune in next week because then we'll kind of let you know what happened for Halloween, which is what
Yeah,
is it, 2 days, 3 days away now?
2 days. So we got it on a Friday this year,
Yeah.
which I mean, come on. That means it's on a Saturday next year. So, although it really doesn't matter for me what day it is, I still am not working. So, um, yeah, Halloween's this Friday, man. We're rolling into a Friday Halloween, so that'll be cool. The kids will be ready
It
to get
works out for the
costumed.
kids because it's not a school night. They
Yeah,
they
yeah.
can go out and really enjoy themselves and they don't have to get home early and get ready for school the next day.
Mm-mm.
Very,
Mm.
very cool. But
Luke never goes to school the day after Halloween.
that's a sick day.
We skip it. I skip work and we skip school. Um, this
But
year,
but
not
but
so
don't
much.
but don't tell anybody. Don't
Oh,
tell
I don't care. Shoot. I don't care if he does this all the way through college. Man, who cares, man? It's Halloween. It's a holiday. What are we doing? So,
It's you know, and anyway, I got a feeling that a lot of kids call in sick the day after Halloween anyway and blame it on the candy.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I ate too much candy. I have a stomach ache. I can't come to school.
Agreed.
But
Agreed.
crazy. But the one thing that I have learned, and that's really how we got connected. For a little bit of history, folks. The way that Brandon and I got connected was, gosh, it's got to be 8, 9 years ago, when I was doing my show at KVGI Radio. I was
Yeah.
doing Someone You Should Know, and I read an article that Brandon had written in a magazine, about spooky houses and places, around Halloween. He wrote this great article, and I called and I said, "Hey, I'd like to have you as a guest on my show to talk about all this paranormal stuff." He said, "I'd love to." And that kind of led to a friendship. And a little while later, when I wanted to start Trash Talk, I called him up and I said, "Hey, I got an offer that you can't refuse." And he didn't.
Yeah, some days I wish I did, but
Yeah, well, that was the days when you weren't doing much in podcasting and everything, and we started doing that show, and now all of a sudden you got like 12 shows a week too,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
in
It's
addition to
ridiculous.
working full time and raising your son. So
Hmm.
talk about having a full plate, folks.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is really, and I've learned over the years that there is a lot of things about Halloween and everything that are fascinating. Now, not only from the origin of where Halloween started and how it's enjoyed and celebrated all over the globe, and all, but this interest in the paranormal and unusual things, and downright spooky stuff, haunted houses and all. You've been a fan of that for years and years and years.
Yeah, I mean, and you think about it, I mean, we all have things that are unexplained in life, things that we question. You know, but there are a lot of things, in my opinion, some of it's BS. We know that, right? But it is fun to go down that road, right? It's just fun. It keeps us on our toes. But then there's other things I'm like, okay, we can't explain it. So we have to look out of the realm of logic. What is it? And I personally believe there are elements of that supernatural. I also believe there's elements of just the world being mysterious that play into a lot of these factors. Do I think every single haunted place is truly haunted? No. But if I sit there and I look at the history and I'm like, Okay, something's been going on here for like decades.
and
What
nobody
is it?
really put it into words as to why.
Agreed. And I've seen things and I've done shows and I've done my podcast and I said, this was my experience. You can call me a liar. You can say whatever. Some of those things I've had people with me, so we're not lying. Or you can say there's got to be something, and that's fine.
Yeah. And I mean at that, and then every year when they some communities set up their haunted houses, I mean they use a lot of elements of this, but you know that this is something that was set up, and then after Halloween and all, it's a teardown. But
Hmm.
when you talk about houses, restaurants, businesses, and all that go back 100 years or so, and they say that there is somebody that's living in the vault in the local bank in town, and that every
Right?
morning when they open up the vault and all, there are sounds that come from it. How do you explain it? Unless somebody put a little recorder in there that every morning it does it. But there are a lot of things that you just can't explain, and you either say, well, it either scares the crap out of you, and then you become a believer, uh, or you really say that there is some things out there in our lives that we just cannot explain, like the
Well,
troll,
and I look at,
the trolls under the bridges. Uh,
well, yeah.
you know,
I look at places that are ancient for the United States, right?
right.
Not just including outside. So let's look at Appalachia. Let's look at the Appalachian Mountains. If you guys ever have stayed up and gone down Appalachian talk like I have, I found some weird stuff. That place genuinely is kind of scary. Not just because of the elements and the mountains and the animals and some of the weird, crazy inbred hillbillies that live out there, but just from the history of what has happened there. When you have, I mean, they have a rule. You guys can go. I mean, I wouldn't want to walk the Appalachian Trail, but when you go, you talk to people and they're like, "Look, if it's nighttime and you hear somebody calling your name, they're not calling your name. You keep walking." Okay.
Yeah.
Look, you just shut your windows at night, you shut the blinds and you lock your doors. That's safety anyways. And they're like, you do that because you have no idea what's out there. And like you have multiple people that are not crazy, people that are like 9 to 5 jobs, raising a family. And they're like, no, I was driving home from work one day. I had my window down and I kept on hearing my name called up the driveway. And I looked and all I saw was a figure. No idea who it was. Didn't turn around. Went inside. All my kids are there. That guy's got no reason to lie. Now, is why do the same people that live there keep having the same story? Is it like imagination? Maybe. Is it like hype? Maybe. Or is something happening?
Yeah, and we can't explain it. Scientists have always looked into this to try and find explanations. Uh, for instance, I remember a story about the Titanic, which is sitting at the bottom of the ocean, and they say that when they have gone down to explore it, every once in a while they'll hear this tap, tap, tap.
I believe it.
That there is something or someone. Now maybe it's a big fish that's got a big tail that's going tap 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 on the side of but if that's an explanation, fine. But when you don't see it and can't record what's going on, then and it is still unexplained, then it is a phenomenon that just continues to exist. Here in Dallas, where we are, there is talk that the book depository in Dallas,
Downtown, yeah.
yeah, where Kennedy was shot from the seventh floor or something of the book depository,
Hmm.
that that there are
6.
the sixth floor, yeah,
Yeah,
that that there are things that go on in the middle of the night that nobody can explain.
I believe it.
And until somebody comes up and says there's a night watchman or that goes up there on the sixth floor every night and does something to cause it. They said that every once in a while a light will go on. for
I
no
believe it.
reason. And nobody can explain because when they close up at night, all the lights are turned off. But
I've been there. I think, I mean, I haven't been there at night, but I've been there twice in my life. I think it's an amazing experience, number one. But I could see it. Again, something tragic happened there. I mean, what do these things have in common? Something like something tragic or something big. The Trail of
something
Tears.
explainable did happen there.
Yes. And well, look at the Trail of Tears. Look at, and then go to certain memorials. Let's go to Gettysburg, one of the most haunted places in the United States. And you're talking the average Joe like me has seen stuff. Scientists have seen stuff. Scientists have gone there and been like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you don't know, then we can't rule out the realm of something happening. And this isn't a theological discussion. This is just saying things older than us have been around. And I think that sometimes those things open doors into things. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care if you don't believe in upstairs, downstairs. I don't care. But there is something, evils in the world, and I'm not saying all these things are evil, but evils in the world that can produce things. So why couldn't good be in the world to produce things? So
You
I
know,
don't know.
there are people that will go into cemeteries to visit their relatives, and they swear that they have a conversation with their dead relative who is appreciative of the fact that they came to visit them. Uh, mediums talk about this, and you have your own opinions of whether a medium is real or whatever. That there, I do believe that there are some people that have the ability to connect with those that have departed. That they have the ability to hear and feel things and explain it to people, not just your storyteller at the community carnival.
Right.
Looks in the crystal ball. That people that do have that paranormal ability to do it. And the interesting is that while it's sometimes a bit scary, it's also fascinating to know how that all developed.
I agree. I agree. I think like, when was the first experience? What happened here? How did it get there? What are we seeing? Like when you have somebody who's like, oh yeah, I live in this house. It's 100 years old. It's haunted. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like that's not happening. But when you're telling me like, well, like 100 years ago on this land, this happened shortly after some witnesses saw, and you start diving in, I'm like, okay, there could be something there.
Well, it also extends to when someone passes away. Sometimes a little bit later in life, there's an occurrence where
Sure.
something happens that crosses paths with that date and that time that you can't explain, but that you say that that was my departed relative or something sending me some kind of a connective sign.
And sometimes you just need that for healing. You just need that to move on. You just need that for closure. I believe that. And I'm never gonna argue with somebody that that's not the case, that if they have a loved one that died and they feel connected, I'm never gonna argue. You keep that,
Right.
that's yours, that's your belief. Cool.
Yeah.
But sometimes it might be. I do think there are certain times, in my opinion, that we should leave things alone. So when we start looking at the most, every time somebody goes to this part of the woods in the mountains, there's been multiple murders. They can't explain. Like, guys, maybe we shouldn't go there anymore. I don't know. Let's just, or we start looking at the Annabelle doll, that everybody's joking about. Let's take this Annabelle doll on tour. What? Like, I don't care what you believe. Something happened with that doll in real life, whether it was the doll, whether it was somebody else. And every time that doll has been in possession, which is why it was locked up, which is why it was blessed, every something has happened. It might not be the doll at all. It could be weird coincidence.
Right.
My thing is, why are we exploring it? I don't need to see that doll. I don't want my picture taken. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand back. I'll go to a haunted house. I don't need to play with something that could potentially be a vessel for some evil that I have in my life. I'm good. So I think sometimes we need to just let that go, you know?
Now, having said that, every season there are movies that are released that explore some of this paranormal and this mystery, and play on your mental
Sure.
images. The what the Walking Dead.
That's just zombies, though.
I but you say those zombies were live people at one point, and
I
so
didn't know
they just, well, they were a lot of them were friends of yours. Uh,
them.
but you look at how they are recreated for the movies, and you say, where did the thought of that recreation come from? And all that, maybe it was from all of this past, association with the paranormal.
See, I go beyond that. Like Walking Dead is for me, and everybody's got their limits. I go, whatever. I haven't been through a zombie apocalypse yet. I haven't seen a zombie yet. I'm not worried about it. If it happens, I think I've watched enough movies. I know what to do. What I do, what the lines I blur, the lines that I don't like to cross, and I watch a lot of horror movies
Yeah.
this month in particular. The lines I don't like to cross are the ones that get too real. The ones that get too like, again, you're opening a door and you're dealing with like historical, you're quoting Bible verses and diving into demon like names from history. I'm like, I don't know if we should be playing with that. Or you get into a situation where a murderer was believed to be worshiping the devil and he's killing children. I'm like, things like that. I'm like, I'm that's too real for me. Because you know what? That stuff happens. I don't want to be part of that. And there's certain movies I don't watch. Believe it or not, there are certain movies I don't watch. But we're talking werewolves and zombies and occasional ghost. Or I just watched a crazy movie about a dog it wasn't like Cujo, but kind of like Cujo. Um, and it was about a dog that just got attached to its owner and just started killing anybody that the owner didn't like. It was kind of a funny movie,
Yeah.
but I can get into that. But I don't need to dive into like where they're blending. There's a movie called The Witch. I watched it once. So I'm good. It's a horror movie. And it is too realistic because they went and studied witchcraft. So the symbols that you see in the movie are symbols that have been used in witch. I'm like, should we be doing that? Like, whether you believe it or not, should we
Exposing it.
be?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, at the end, they used real audio from when they recorded witches doing some of their. And I'm like, okay, no, good. I don't think we need that. That's my opinion.
Well, when you talk about, the werewolves and stuff like that, those are physical things. Those are
Sure.
recreated physical beings. The
Right.
part that really not only gets me, gives me the chills, but also gets my interest up is when they talk about sounds in an old house or something. There's a thumping in the attic.
Hmm.
And it doesn't happen every day, but every so often or every year on a particular day, they can document that there are some sounds going on in that house. Or there is a light in the woods where there is no house, but there's a
Yeah.
light that goes on. And how do you explain it? There's things like the Bermuda Triangle in the Atlantic Ocean, where they have documented that when there are vessels that have passed through this particular area, they have sunk. And
Yeah, and that's interesting. Like it's so interesting to me, and I think they've kind of figured out moments or reasons why, but there's still so much that has happened there. Like those things are wild to me. Like like the light in the woods, they've gone over it like during the daytime. They've gone and explored. There's nothing there, but that light keeps coming up. There's no human tracks. There's no I and at some point, okay, it's not bothering anybody. Do we need to leave? Just leave it alone, man.
right, right.
Leave the light alone.
Just continue to witness it and say, I have seen that light in the woods that doesn't seem
Agreed.
to exist. And it is for real because somebody told me that it's out there and I didn't believe them until I walked out into that woods in the middle of the night with no moon and saw a light go on and turned around and ran my butt as fast as I.
I've done multiple episodes of experiences. I mean, I went down to Goatman Bridge. I've done multiple episodes. The abandoned insane asylum in Michigan that's no longer there in Northville. I've explored the tunnels. I've seen
Yeah,
things. We went to that haunted hotel in Philadelphia. The girl I was dating at the time was there with me. She witnessed it. So I mean, there are things that are like, what is
right.
this?
They
Yeah.
say that's what's going on the Alcatraz now that it's closed, it's abandoned and all, but there are still sounds going on there.
Well, and again, what happened there? We
Right.
have history there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't be scared. I mean, maybe scared, but I probably wouldn't worry about the Alcatraz stuff too much. To me, that's more like residual, you know? It's the things that I'm like you don't hear about people going to Alcatraz and then getting killed. It's when they go explore these places and like, yeah, and the guy died. And I'm like, okay, what?
Yeah.
Anything in the woods, I'm out. I love the woods. I love camping, but you tell me like, hey, Brandon, don't go there because allegedly, four people died there. And I'm like, sure. And I Google it and it says that. Yeah, I'm good. I don't have
Yeah.
to go
I'll
there.
find another
I'll go
camp.
some, yeah, I'll go somewhere else.
But there was a series that and I've watched it on HGTV called The Scariest House in America. And every episode, the MC of the show goes to these various houses around the country that are that are haunted. There are some that have dungeons in the basements. There was one where they've got a kitchen table that in the middle of the kitchen table is a well where they used to get the water and
Yeah.
bring the
What?
water directly up into the kitchen through a well in the kitchen table and all. And they say that it's not a functioning well anymore, but there's something in the bottom of that well that moves
Do
occasionally.
people live in these houses still?
There's people, yeah, people that have bought these houses and either to just use as a museum or in some cases they're trying to fix them up a little bit.
Yeah, no, no. If I walk in and I got a hole in my kitchen and they're like, "Hey, this used to be a well," I'm out. You don't have to tell me anything else. I'm out. Done.
Goodbye. I'll go down to the store and I'll buy bottled water if I need any. Well, hey, anyway, open up the bags, get ready to go trick or treating and all, and tell some scary stories around the campfire if you want, or venture into the woods to see if there's any lights out there. But enjoy your Halloween. I know Brandon will,
Yes,
uh, and come back and see us again next week, and we'll get together for another trash talk. Okay?
that's right.
Ooh.